Hi, and welcome back to Flow into Life. This is our second episode, and I am so excited, especially if you already heard the first one and you decided to return. Thank you. If you're new here, I invite you to hear our first episode because I talk a little bit about how we start over or why we start over, and then this episode will make sense. Okay. And just want to clarify, we're not going to be the whole past talking about fear. We're not going to be talking the whole podcast about starting over. Is that because the first one we did address the word fear? I wanted to make sure that we did understand why is it important and why not. Okay. So, again, welcome back. My name is Nancy Rivera. I am a holistic psychologist. I'm an educator. I am also an author. And if you want to learn more about what I do, you can go to nancyrivera.com or rivawellnesslearning.com. Okay. That being said, let's get into it. So, in my last episode, like I said, I shared why I'm starting over again, especially from that moment that I moved from Puerto Rico to Florida. Okay, and yes, how difficult it has been, but now that I have my own space again, and when I say my own space, I'm talking about my office. I'm offering service and doing other things. I'm so happy, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. This podcast is not about doing the good or the bad, or is everything is going to be black or white. Guys, normally I'm gray. Okay, I am a Gemini, so anything can happen, right? So like I said, there are going to be moments where I'm going to be in this space with a guest, and normally I'm okay talking, and if you see, I can talk a lot. Okay, so let's talk about fear. Okay, and fear when it overpowers you. Fear, and I think we have to start maybe by explaining the fear part. And sometimes fear shows up when we are think or that we have failed, or because we made a wrong decision, or because we are not we're losing money, people might judge me, and that we're not good enough. Okay, so fear doesn't mean something is wrong. Okay, it often means something matters. So when we have fear, we're scared to start something. We are, first of all, our body is giving us an alert. It's something that is new or something that they don't have enough information. So that's where that fear comes from. Now, the problem is when we give to that fear, we give them the power. Like we give the whole power. Like, I'm not going to do this unless you do this or that. So when we talk about fear, okay, we talk about what has cost me. What can it cost? So jobs, probably, maybe you were looking for a change of career or a change of a workspace, and your fear got into the middle and you did not give that step to change job. Or maybe relationship, people stay in relationship because they are in fear of being alone, and that can be a whole new other episode. But people sometimes are in fear because they don't want to be alone, or because things are a little bit different in that relationship, and they are scared to get out of the relationship because they don't have the support system they need to get out. Also, there are dreams that are postponed because of the fear, like when I'm ready, like I'll do it later, I can't do it right now, I am not prepared. Let's talk about business when business that never start. Like, I know some people that have started with an idea, and it's still an idea. They have not moved forward to do what they have to do because they are in fear that it's not going to work, and it's not going to, you're not going to be able to manage the whole responsibility of a business. Sometimes in social media they look so very nice. I got my computer, I'm in the beach, and I'm having oh my God, an amazing life. And that's not true. When you really have a business, it's a lot. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of numbers, there's a lot of things that we have to do behind maybe social media's platforms, and then we put it and post only the nice things. But there's a lot of work to do if you own a business, and if you do, you know what I'm talking about, right? So something that I want to share like about for the business part is in the fear part. In 2016, I went from education, and I've been a teacher, like that's been my whole career. Okay. Beside being a coach and being a everything else that I do. But in 2011, I went out of the school that I was working on that moment and went into with my best friend to an office, and we were doing other things that were related also to education. And then in 2016, I decided that I want to open a spa. I just had the idea. And guess what? I did. Did it go well? No, it did not. But I did it. So I can say that I did have a spa. It was for 8 months. But did I have the knowledge I needed to have in that kind of business? No. That's where maybe I was wrong. I was not wrong to decide to open a business. I just needed right now, I mean that moment I needed more information about how to run a spa. And I had to sell, and I went back to school. That was it. So, what I'm trying to say about that part of the business is that sometimes we're looking for the perfect moment. That perfect moment will not come in. That sometimes we have fear about doing something, and I am the type of person that I prefer to fail and grow and learn from that, and then come back and try to do something better with the knowledge that I already have, instead of doing like the part of I don't know if I want to, am I able, can I, what, where. No, I go for it. I try to do things right, and if they go through, perfect. If they didn't, well then I learn from it. That's how I see it. So if you're planning and opening a business, you have an idea, you already have clients, you already have, you're doing something, don't wait for the perfect moment. That perfect moment will never come back. I mean, it will not appear. You will always have questions. You will always have something to do in your business to make it better. The most important part is to start and not let fear overpower you. Okay. Books that they never have been written, like people that are trying to write a book, people that they already wrote a book, they don't know how to, they don't know that you can do it right now, like a self-publishing, go into Amazon and just be able to publish your book. And if you need that help, I do give that service. um because they're in fear of what people are going to think. Hey, the first book that I did, I chose 5 part of things that I did talk in the radio, and I sat down and wrote it. And I had a friend that I gave it to her, like, hey, can you read it for me? It sounds like logic. Does it make sense? Yes. Okay, give it to me. Boom, 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 boom. I did it. Horrible. It was so bad. My first book, it was the content, the information was bad. Sorry, it was very good, but the cover, it was so bad. It was like a the um workbooks for kids, like the big thing. It was horrible, so I had to fix it. But guess what? I did it. I sold it. And many people were selling. I mean, there were people even buying a lot of books because they have a bookshop or something, and they were buying it, and it was like it was a big thing. But if I had stopped because the cover was not what I wanted, do you think I had to sell something? Nope. Now the second one, it was I did correct my first mistake. So that's the whole part. It's like not letting fear overpower you of doing things. And first, and the one that I think that is one of the things that we are fear about is having those conversation that are in. maybe comfortable to do and to have, but they never do. And then you keep on like going on with something in your life that you're not feeling good with because you don't have the that fear is right there and it's overpowering you, and you don't have that conversation that you need to have. So how much of your life has you shaped by what you wanted versus what you were afraid to do? Okay, so we cannot give the power to the fear. Okay, and sometimes this fear comes in like, oh, what are they going to think about me? Guess what? People don't live with you. You are the owner of your own life. You got that? You are the owner of your own life. So, my personal fears. I had fear of moving to Florida. I had fear of changing careers, and I'm not going to repeat the story. You can go to episode 1 if you haven't heard it, and hear a little bit about my story. I was in fear to publish my first book. I was in fear to open this office. I was in fear to launch this podcast. um the fear has not disappeared. What is the difference is that is not empowered. I'm empowered. Do I question myself if it was the best choice to open this office? Do I even have the amount of clients that I need to be able to? No. That's a fear, but it's not going to stop me because what I have to do is promote more, go out there and look for my clients. So the whole point is that it's not empowered. Fear is not empowered. Okay. So, one of the biggest myths that we can hear about fear and growth is that once I feel confident, I will do it. Ah, no. The reality is that most people gain confidence after they do it, not before. So if you're waiting because you think that you have to be more confident to do something, guess what? You're not going to do it. And because that confidence will come after you actually do something you're fear about. Let's say that you are fear the one of your biggest fear is to speak in front of a room of, let's put, 25 person. I understand, because being a teacher is one thing, but being in front of a lot of people, thinking that you know about this topic, and that you're like, oh, what if there's someone sitting there that's a doctor or someone that not have more knowledge than I do. And I was scared the first time that I stepped into a stage where I had to talk. And I remember my whole body was shaking. I was sweating in part of my body that I don't even know that they can sweat. Okay, but I did it. And after that, am I afraid of every time I have to talk in front of a stage? Yes, I am. Yes, I get nervous. Does it overpower me, the fear? No, it doesn't. That is the difference. Okay. So here's our like a couple questions that I want to share with you guys so that you can reflect a little bit about it. And it's, what have you been postponing? What is the something that you have postponed for the longest time? Okay. Another one is, what conversation needs to happen? Like, is there something that you need to, with someone, sit down and have a conversation? What dreams keeps showing up? What is something that you dream of, and you're like, oh, it's just a dream? No, make it true. You can do it. You got the power to do it. And what would you do if fear wasn't making that decision? I promise you that once you come around that fear, it doesn't mean that it will 100% disappear, but it will. It will, and you're going to be able to continue. Okay? So just for 1 second, pause, think, answer yourself. Yes, you can do this. Yes, you are in power. Yes, just keep on saying it until it becomes true, okay? Fear is part of being human. It means you're stepping into something that you might not know is unknown. But the goal isn't to eliminate the fear. The goal is to stop letting fear make your decisions. So that's it. And that's the goal. So thank you for sharing with me this moment. I hope I did answer some of your question. I hope I motivated someone to step in outside the fear and be able to do something different. And until the next time, just remember that this is a flow into life.